Welcome to Creative Conversations, where creators connect and inspire. I'm Sophia, and today we'll be diving into the creative world of Meg, where we'll be talking about her modelling and her photography. Let's get started. So Meg, you've had an interesting journey so far, from photographer to model. Could you tell us kind of what inspired you to get into modelling?
Well, I started as a student. I was studying photography. I wanted to be a boudoir photographer. I wanted to have my own studio. A boudoir photographer. Actually, I wanted to specialise in male boudoir because I realised that it's not that common, and I think there's a beauty there that is quite undiscovered. And I find that a lot of men don't allow themselves to touch into the sort of the softer side, and I think it's not widely photographed. So I kind of wanted to, I guess, fill that gap.
That is fascinating, and I don't think I've actually heard of male boudoir before. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Really?
No.
Yeah, there are a couple of photographers that are very, very good at it and do specialise in it. Funnily enough, there's a photographer that I follow who's a male photographer, specialises in male boudoir, and he does it in the most female gaze way.
Oh,
but
really?
It's so soft and it's so feminine, and it is as you would photograph a woman doing boudoir.
So does it make the
or at
men
least someone who is
seem
more
more
female
feminine?
presenting.
Sorry for interrupting there.
No, not at all. No, it doesn't. I don't think so anyway. I think it's just softer.
Softer?
It doesn't have to be... Yeah, I don't think it makes them appear more feminine. I think, if anything, it makes them feel more masculine.
Really?
It's just a different way of looking at it. Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. And what would you usually shoot men wearing for boudoir? Or is it nothing?
Can kind of be anything. Or sometimes nothing. Sometimes you can use fabric. Sometimes if you're doing it outside in a location, normally more of a nature location, a bit more private, you can use foliage. You can use all sorts. You can just be there in boxes. You can wear whatever you like. I've seen corsetry. I've seen like more lingerie. You can wear whatever you like, whatever makes you feel confident and comfortable.
What a niche subject to get into. And can I ask what got you into doing male boudoir photography? Was there something that inspired you to get into that?
I think it was just the fact that I know so many people who identify in so many different ways, and I know that a lot of I know a few men who wanted to kind of show that more feminine side, and I know people who didn't identify with a gender wanting to show a more feminine side and didn't feel like they were allowed to. And I just thought that it's the perfect way. I think the boudoir is so empowering and makes you feel so strong and really like kind of helps with the journey of self-love. And I think that it's a total area that is cut off to so many men because they don't feel they're able to do it.
That's so true.
And I just think it's totally unexplored, or at least it's not as explored as it should be. And I think it would help with a lot of people's self-confidence, like truly.
No, I think that's stunning, because you hear of a lot of women who book themselves into a boudoir shoot to feel more confident in their body, especially when they're a bit older and they want to look back at those photos or just feel special. But you don't get that much for men. So I think that's actually quite an amazing thing to do, really, to be boosting the confidence of men. And they definitely almost need it more than us a lot of the time.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think in terms of body confidence, men are kind of looked over in a lot of ways. I think that women kind of empower women, and obviously men tend to not empower women quite so much. But no one really empowers men in that respect, especially people who struggle with their identity or know who they are but don't have a way of expressing who they are. And I think that it's just totally overlooked.
That's so true. Okay, so through doing boudoir photography at college, was it college, did you say?
Yeah, university. Yeah.
University, sorry.
Yeah.
And then did you like practice shooting boudoir yourself, getting into a bit of modelling?
Well, yes. I actually, I had a lot of issues with it. So my university heavily frowned on it. Frowned on it when I started modelling, yeah.
Why?
When I did my first boudoir shoot with, well, he went as Black Salad at the time. He then changed it to View from Space, and now I think it's, I can't remember, it's Jim Kirby, I think.
I've seen his work. His stuff's awesome.
Yes, he did my first boudoir shoot.
Oh, really?
He did. We did a location, and it was absolutely incredible. And he taught me how to do my very basic boudoir poses. Yeah, I got back into university, and people had started to see my work, and I just started my modelling page as sort of an experiment. And I was pulled into my teacher's office, and I was asked where my self-respect and my dignity was, and that my parents are probably very ashamed of me, and I needed to reconsider, for lack of a better term, being a whore. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And you were like, no, I'm going to do this, and you stuck with it.
Yeah.
Good for you, girl. I would have been exactly the same. I really hate it when people try and put you into a box. And why can't women be liberated and confident in their bodies?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was shamed quite a lot in that school. I had a top that came down to like here. I'm not someone who's particularly comfortable in dressing in like more risky styles. I can't, I don't have the confidence. And I was wearing a simple V-neck top, and I was sitting in for a lighting test, because that's kind of how I started getting comfortable in front of the camera. I was sitting in for a lighting test, and my teacher told my friend to raise the crop of the image, because I wasn't dressed for having my picture taken that day.
Really? How prude.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I bet you kind of, in the politest way possible, stood out like a sore thumb in that mix for someone who's so confident and into things like male boudoir and being liberated with your body, and that yet they're getting annoyed at a V-neck top. It just seems not
what you'd expect from a creative college, but safe to say I ended up dropping out after my foundation degree.
Oh really?
I did.
Did you regret that decision, or was it the best decision?
Not at all. Best decision I ever made. Decision I ever made. Not one regret.
That's amazing.
It was killing my love.
Shooting someone else's ideas and their themes, when you've come at it from so you trained as a photographer yourself, you have your own creative ideas, and then how do you find kind of fitting into someone else's brief? Do you struggle with that?
No, I don't think I do. No, the thing that I struggled with to start with is having people view me in a different way. I hated having my picture taken when I started.
Really?
I really, really hated it. I was hiding from the camera if somebody brought their phone up for a picture. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. Super self-conscious.
Oh, how funny.
I started because I hated it so much. Yeah, no, I didn't take selfies. I didn't want to be in photos. I didn't like it. I've never liked being the center of attention. I find it very uncomfortable. I'm the kind of person where if you're at a dinner table with lots of people and you're talking to someone and then everyone stops to listen to you, I want to crawl under the table and just like not say a word for the rest of the night. I hate having attention on me. I do. I'm super self-conscious. But I guess the reason I started modeling was because I didn't want to try and empower people into loving themselves and having the confidence when I didn't have any. I felt like a big hypocrite, and I was like, well, I've got to get over this somehow. So I was already doing self-portraits. So it was the view of like, because I was doing the self-portraits, I was editing myself. And I was, first and foremost, I was critiquing myself heavily. I was really, really harsh on myself. And then it was also, I guess, giving up control, where when photographers started editing me, I was like, well, I don't look like that. Or you're editing me in a different way that I would edit myself, and I'm not sure I like it.
Yeah.
And, well, my hair doesn't look like that. Oh, you've edited my skin, or you've taken out all the detail of my face, so I don't look like that. And that was the bit I struggled with. Yeah, having a photographer take that creative freedom of what I look like. Yeah. But the actual concept, I'm adding on. The concept, I'm loving to go, okay, well, maybe we could do this. Let's make this bigger. I think this is distracting. Let's do this instead. And I love the collaboration. But it was me that I struggled with.
So do you
I
have
struggled with how they edited me.
do you have any advice for people that are listening that are shy or maybe struggle with self-confidence about how to kind of be more confident in themselves and show up as themselves and just,
Fake it till you
more
make it.
fake it till you make
Fake it till you make it.
It's so
Literally,
true, isn't it?
fake it till you make it and do it for the plot are two phrases that I basically live by. It's, you only get one life. Do you really want to hide under the table for your entire life? It's,
So
do you
true.
want to not have the memories because you don't want to be in front of the camera and the only person who's judging you is you?
So
You are your harshest critic. I still can look at an image and go, well, I don't like that about me. I don't like that about me. I don't like that about me. But there is no point in doing that, because if you look at what you can do, either creatively or just making a memory, you can go out for a coffee with a friend and you snap a picture of the two of you smiling. You can go, well, I hate that. I'm smiling. I don't like my smile. But your friend loves your smile.
So true.
And everyone else who loves you loves your smile. So you don't have to love it. You can learn to love it. I, for the first time, have had a picture, actually, literally, pretty much just taken, where I've had a few recently where photographers have started taking my really genuine laugh. And it's only within the last few months that I've actually started to not hate it.
Really?
And yes.
I see. I think I'm still working on that, because I think it's just something you need to learn within modelling. Because when someone says laugh for me, when I do my natural laugh, it's hideous. I'm screaming. I look crazy, and I'm learning to be more elegant when laughing for the photos. But that feels fake. You're like, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I can't do a modelled laugh.
No,
I can't do
it's difficult, isn't it?
When people say, it really is. So when people say, oh, can you smile for me? Can you laugh for me? I have to say, I'm really sorry, but no. If you can make me laugh and it's a genuine laugh, and I then don't look like I'm insane, you can use it. But I can't just bring on a laugh, because I laugh with my eyes. I smile with my eyes. If my mouth then just doesn't know how to cooperate, I look insane. I look absolutely insane.
It's true, me too.
I can be expressive with my eyes on command. I can't do it with my mouth. I can't smile with my mouth on command. I just don't know how.
I thought it was just me. It's difficult, but I think you're quite similar to me in the sense that we both like to tell stories and emotions through our eyes in photography and modelling. Yeah. I think it's quite important for both of us. That's why I'm a fan of your work as well. And I think for us, we probably, when we laugh, we want to be genuine. You want to capture happiness, and we don't want to just pretend, because that's not what we're about. You know, we're authentic with our modelling. I like to feel what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Yes, that's exactly it. It's I pull on emotions a lot. Like, I pull on past experiences. I pull on things that I've gone through. I put into my work. So things where I look sad, it's because I'm pulling on an experience where I was sad. If I'm looking angry, I'm pulling on an experience where I was angry. And everything is kind of a piece of myself. Everything is genuine. I don't fake what I do in that respect, because I think you can't fake it. If you want to make it believable, if you want to create something which actually connects to the person viewing it, it has to be real.
Yeah.
You can't fake it.
No, it's so true.
Even if you think you're faking it, if it connects with people, you're not faking it. There's something in there that's real.
Yeah.
Because you can't fake it. You just can't.
No.
You can't fake a human connection.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do. It's a really scary thing to do.
It is.
It's a really scary thing to put yourself out there.
And it's very vulnerable when you first get started to look into a camera lens and show your soul, show who you are. You know, you always want to put like a guard up, and to forget that it's a man-made thing in front of you. You know, it's very alien, isn't it, having a camera in your face, and to be able to show that raw emotion, I think takes time, and you've got to learn to almost pretend it's not there. I like to sometimes almost imagine that I'm looking into the eyes of someone I love rather than a camera.
Oh, okay. I think I'm the opposite.
Oh, really?
I am, yeah. Well, I started self-portraiture during my A-levels. And I was studying photography there as well. And I was in a relationship that I struggled in a lot and has caused a lot of trauma. A lot of trauma. And as I'd gone into school this particular day, and we were learning lighting, and it was very basic lighting. It was like your split lighting, your Rembrandt, your butterfly, or glamour, or whatever. And I was asking for people to sit for me so I could practice this lighting, and no one would sit for me. And I went, fuck all of you, I'll do it myself. None of you are reliable. I've sat for all of you, and I'll sit for myself. So I did. And I was having a really tough time, and I was kind of getting out of the work, I suppose. I just sat in this little room, which was the studio, and I cried. I was having a really, really tough time, and I was sobbing. And my teacher had come in, and he said, you need proof of your work by the end of this session. Didn't give a crap if I was crying. Didn't want to deal with it. So it was like, you need to show you've done some work by the end of this. So I started clicking the button, and I was using a timer. And I let myself cry. And I let myself do the work. And I was like, well, I'll present whatever I want to present. I don't have to present all of these. And I just let myself continue with my little moment as I was taking these pictures. And my first self-portrait is of me crying.
No way.
And red and puffy and all sorts.
Really?
It's, yeah. I was sobbing. I was a wreck.
Not because I want to see you crying because you're sad, but just because I can imagine it's rather incredible.
Well, what I created from it is very, very different. It's
really?
Not something I've ever shared before. No.
Oh. How come?
But it's too vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't a moment where I was modeling. That was a moment where that camera was the only thing I could actually express to, because no one else cared.
Wow. That's a beautiful story. And that was
just it. It's been like that for a long time. I couldn't share how I felt to people because either people didn't know like how to react, they didn't understand, or they just frankly didn't care. They didn't want to know. So it was me and my camera. And that was how I kind of spoke. That was how I communicated. And it ended up being that I created things at that time almost in like secret messages. I was displaying how I felt through art, through photography, through self-portraits, so that my then partner didn't know what it actually was.
Really?
Because I was really struggling. Wow. I have a picture where I was recreating a self-portrait from Rachel Barron, who I don't think she still does photography, but she had a little point where she was in her early 20s, and she did a whole series of really dark self-portraits, and I fell in love with it. And I tried to recreate it to practice my editing. And she had her shoulders forward, and she stuck her tongue out, and there was a candle flame just on the tip of her tongue. And I gave it a go. And I showed it to my then partner, and I had makeup smeared down my face. I looked a mess. And it was all part of the photo, but I looked a mess. And I said, I'm really proud of this. I want to post it. And he went, don't you dare. You look naked. People are going to sexualize you. Oh, I don't want people looking at you like that. It's literally there. They're up.
Really?
They're up. It's not even like they're up. It's they're up. It's like my neck and the top of my shoulder. On and off. Probably over about 2 years.
God. I feel like every model I know has had a few bad eggs along their time as a model or prior to it. Because I think when you're a confident woman, I know it's taken you time, but when you're beautiful and you're self-driven, a man's either going to love it or maybe be threatened by it. And you see it time and time again. And it makes me happy when I see women thriving in healthy relationships, or when they're just on their own thriving, because it drives me mad when I see these amazing ladies in the wrong relationships. And to be honest, it can happen for men too. I'm not saying it's just women, but as most of my friends are models, I do see it a lot. And it's usually the really talented ones who have something to give to the world that seem to be put in a box.
But it's those ones that then use their experiences to create art.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's why
100%.
we feel it. That's why they're so amazing. They have gone and put all of their movement, emotion, and feeling, their heart and soul, into what they do. And you feel that, you see that. Yeah. And I think that's where, like, I love art nude. Art nude is my ultimate passion.
Yes, see, I love art nude. I think it's beautiful to look at, and to capture a woman just in their raw form is stunning.
Absolutely. But it's what you can do with the body. You don't have anything to hide behind, so all you've got to do is create shapes. So you're creating shapes, and you're creating an over-exaggerated body language that tries to represent what you feel. It's dance in a still image.
Exactly.
That's all it is. It's acting and it's dance in a still image. You are capturing a movement and a feeling and you're creating, I don't know, you're letting people in. You're letting people see whatever it is that you're wanting to create, and you have this moment of vulnerability. You've gone, I want people to see what I'm feeling in the rawness that I could possibly be. I can't hide behind anything. It's just me. It's just me in a studio. It's just me on a rock. It's just me against a wall. It's just me in the middle of a field. There is nothing to hide behind. I can't hide behind anything. It's just me. What am I then going to create? What message can I create? Because I love fashion for what it is. I love portraiture for what it is. It's a similar thing. But it's, when you're nude, you quite literally create the mood. You can't then go, okay, here's a prop, let me use this prop. Which you can, but that then takes it restricts it.
Yeah, it is.
If you are...
Yeah, it literally is just you in that moment. And a lot of it's to do with light and shadow as well, isn't it? Like, I don't know, you Absolutely. Just put a naked lady in bright lights on a white backdrop. Well, there's nothing very beautiful. You're just a naked lady in a white backdrop. Exactly. Yeah, it's not interesting to look at, but you put a naked lady in a beautiful surrounding outdoors, and there's beautiful lighting across her body, and you can see certain parts lit and other bits not, and you're thinking, why is she there? How is she feeling? Is she vulnerable? Exactly. Is she confident? That kind of thing tells way more of a story.
Yeah. It could be, you could be angry the fact that you're having your moment and someone's come in and someone's found you, I suppose, and you can then display that. You can have this almost feral, vicious feeling about it. You could be happy and peaceful in your own little bubble. You could be powerful and confident and like goddess-ish and just be there and powerful and in your moment. Or you can be sad and you've gone to escape. And you can run through all of that in such a short amount of time just because you can.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And it is totally within your power to create and show whatever you want to show. Or frankly, you could just create a very simple, very natural, non-post thing. You can do whatever you like. It is totally within your control. And it is up to the photographer to capture what you're trying to portray.
Yeah.
But that's why you end up creating a creative relationship.
Yeah, 100%. And there's nothing quite like a creative relationship between you and a photographer where you've made that bond and you trust them and you know they're going to photograph you in a way that you want to be photographed, and they give you that creative freedom. And that's when the magic happens, isn't it? When you're both coming at it from a creative point of view.
Absolutely. 110%.
So can I ask you, because you're a very creative person yourself, what scares you? Is the vulnerability with modelling or stagnation, or is it something else?
Being stuck in a box.
Yeah.
Is it. I don't like doing one thing and one thing only. I like to express myself through as many different areas and genres as I possibly can, because there's so many things you can experience. I don't like having a niche.
No.
I can have a niche where I'm really good at it, but that's not the only thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do everything. And I make a point of trying to say yes to as many things as I possibly can, because I don't want to get bored. You get stagnant, you get bored. You don't want to just be shoved in a corner and go, well, this is what you do now because this is what people want to see.
Yeah.
I never started modeling for people. I started modeling myself and to find out what I'm capable of and to go, okay, I've not done this before. I'm going to let them know I've not done this before, but I'm going to give it 100%. And I'm going to give it my all. I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea if this is going to be any good. You know, I haven't done this before, so continue at your own risk, but I will give it my best. And I personally don't think I've managed to fail. There have been things where I can go, okay, I definitely need to improve on that, but I've never failed. And that's something I am very proud of. But I think it's because where I've lacked, the photographer has kind of picked me back up, or we've adjusted it to my ability and then pushed me further. But I haven't gone in thinking, oh my God, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I've just gone, this is different. Let's see how this goes. I mean, I've got no goal with modeling.
Really?
I have no goal. I have no idea where I want to be. I have never, ever had a goal.
No.
I've never been like, okay, I want to end up in Vogue by this time, or I want to be on this runway doing this. I've just gone, I never thought I'd get this far. Let's see where it goes from here.
Yeah, exactly. And how exciting is that? I feel like you and me are at quite similar points with our careers, because I'm the same. I've had this awakening recently where I've gone, I'm not just one thing. And I don't know if you know, but I'm an artist as well. And for years I thought I was actually trained as a print designer. I thought that was it for me. I'm just a print designer. And I loved it. I still do. It's fantastic. I tried to work in industry for a while, and I'm not very good at being told what to do by other people. Didn't go too well. So I ended up working for myself. Are you the same? Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, so I then ended up being this freelance print designer, then a freelance artist. But the whole time I thought, I'm just a creative. That's all I can do. So when modeling came about, I was like, oh, I can be that as well. What? And then suddenly modeling just took off. I feel like you're quite similar to me with the modeling, where it just 1 minute you decided to be a model and then boom, you just kind of exploded everywhere. And we just hit the industry hard, both of us.
Yeah, it's quite a surreal feeling, especially as somebody who doesn't like attention, to then suddenly be like, oh yeah, I heard of you from like halfway across the country, or like, oh yeah, I heard, like, I know you from like France, or someone in Germany was talking about you. What? How
I know, it's crazy, and we are just a human being.
Yeah, you just suddenly become really well known.
Yeah,
but I find that also comes with challenges.
Yes,
because
100%.
then the more well known you get, I think people start to view you as something for them.
Yes, and they can put you in a box, the thing that you don't like.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I don't like it either.
No, it's horrible. I feel claustrophobic.
Yeah. When people go, oh, you're the model that does that. No.
Hate it.
I call myself a creative chameleon for a reason. It's because I like to morph into the things that people ask. That's fun. That's what a model should be. Someone that can change their look entirely. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, on my Instagram, I've pinned 3 very different styles, because I almost immediately want to be like, I do different things. Don't put me in a box just because the first like 6 photos you see are a similar thing. I do different things. Can
I ask, I assume as you do nude modelling that is basically all you get asked for most of the time from male photographers?
Point where that was the case. I think that within the last couple of months, I've had some people go, I actually don't see you as this. Happy Jack Studios. Happy Jack actually has been one of those people that has looked at it. Oh, you're frozen. Hello.
Am I back?
Yes, we're back. Happy Jack is one of those people who, when he first saw me, he went, I don't want nude. I don't want to see you nude. You are hair, you are beauty, you are fashion. This is where I want to see you. And I mean, I've already done some stuff with him that's far more fashion based that I haven't done before. I know that in the future we're going to be doing potentially some beauty stuff, which again I've very rarely done, and I really want to do. I'd love to do some hair stuff. I have enough of it. I want to try and do some stuff with it.
You've got loads of it, and you are beautiful. And why not again push it to something else that's new for you to try? Because if you've already mastered the art nude and the boudoir, then it's time for you to be experimenting with new styles. I guess keep you interested.
I think what's incredible about art is you never fully master anything. I think there's always a different way of doing it.
That's true.
I've definitely created a style. I've definitely created a style of how I do things. Because I mean, I see people doing like art nude, and I'm like, oh, I love how you do that. I love that pose. At some point, I want to try and recreate that pose just to see if I can do it and then build on it. And it's something which I am never going to fall out of love with. Boudoir as well. It's something that was the beginning of my passion. I'm never going to fall out of love with it. They are two very, very empowering things. But I'd like to try some other things. I'd like to try and do some beauty and something that's a bit more high fashion and something that's a bit more creative with fabrics and clothing and makeup and hair. Yeah. Rather than just me.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I've learned how difficult fashion posing is because I learned to model more Peter Colson portrait kind of style.
Yes.
Storytelling with my eyes, very natural, not overly posed, and that's what I got popular for. But then when I worked with a fashion photographer for the first time, she could see that the posing I was doing was quite sensual in a way, because it's just the way I'm used to posing. And she was like, right, scrap that. I want you to pose, I think it was like 5 poses for me without touching your body. So you got, how hard? It's really difficult, because then you start touching your hair. She goes, no, that's still part of you. No, none of it. Arms out. And I'm like, how? Do you know what I mean? And it was a good challenge to get in your mind. Yeah, literally. Absolutely. It's like, I don't know what to
do. I went through a point where I couldn't not touch my hair.
Yeah, everything I'm a bit like that.
But then I can't get my hands out my hair. I find the amount of times I've started a video and I've gone and I've shaken my hair, or I've touched my hair, or I've done something, because it's almost a safety blanket.
Yeah.
I just immediately this is something I have to do. Yeah. And I've had to kind of go, okay, stop touching that.
No.
Do something else.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've kind of, in fashion stuff, I've kind of gone, okay, it's about the shoulders, about the collarbones. You want to shove your shoulders in weird ways. But I'm still learning. I've found that with a lot of my art nude, I have heavily pulled on classical paintings. So I use a lot of classical paintings as inspiration. So it's like you get your foot position in the right place. And it's not pointed toes. It's almost like this. Like you kind of have to drape your foot to the side, on the side, and then have one foot planted but at an angle. So it ends kind of being very weird. We're trying to describe this with hands. But it's, if you look at any classical painting, the foot is slightly off to the side and that's planted. And then the hip is dropped, and then the foot is almost being dragged but met at your other ankle. Oh. And that is an art nude classical foot pose, rather than toes pointed on the point of your toes or on your tiptoes or anything like that. It's not pointed. It's flat and draped. It's softer. It's a bit more slouchy, I suppose. Interesting. But it's curved. So I do a mix of that and also trying to take a lot of inspiration from dance. And I found that a lot more photographers have started to ask me to do more dance poses. I cannot dance.
I was going to ask if you have a dance background.
No, I do not dance. I cannot dance. I'd love to learn to dance, but I can't dance. If you were to ask me to throw some moves, it would be embarrassing. It's closer to dad dancing.
Really?
I'm terrible.
How funny.
I'm terrible. I
can dance,
move.
but not with other people, just on my own.
Oh, yeah. In the kitchen, I was going to say in the shower, I'm going to fall in the shower, singing in the shower, dancing in the kitchen. But I can't dance. I can just fake it-ish. I can fake it enough where it's passable.
But you can come up with a routine of poses for modelling, and that's like a dance.
Yeah, it is. But that's why it's almost like dancing in a still image. It's, you kind of have to create this flow, or at least I flow. I don't do very no, I change my posing style depending on who the photographer is. But I don't like doing very robotic, like you do one thing, you do the next thing, you do the next thing, you do the next thing. Yeah. I don't have a set of poses that I recycle necessarily. I do the poses kind of time and time again, but I don't do this for one outfit and then you change and you do the exact same thing for that outfit and then you do the exact same thing for that outfit. I am somebody who likes to flow. I like to change what I do. I like to, surprise myself, I suppose. I tend to look at poses and I'm like, how the hell did I do that?
Yeah.
I can't do that again. I have no idea how I did that. How did I manage to get my leg that high? How did I manage to twist myself that way? Oh, that's why I have a bad back in the morning. Okay, that makes sense. But it's surprising myself through movement, and it's surprising myself with what I'm capable of. But I can't dance.
I love working with dance photographers, and I don't have a background in dance, but I like the way that they're so good at capturing movement, and also kind of they usually know how to kind of get you to move your body in a way that does look elegant because they see it so often. But no, I find it really fun, and it's a challenge that I really enjoy. And again, it's probably moving my body in a way that I wouldn't usually do for modeling. It's almost more dynamic. Do you know what I mean?
Oh gosh, yes. It's almost when I first started doing it, I really I did it was more of like can I just experiment with this really quickly? And the photographer was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how stiff I am when I tried to move.
Literally, we need to be doing yoga really first.
Literally, I was like, that should. I thought that looked different to how it actually looks. Okay, well that arm is like a board. It's just I've gone back and I have thrown my elbow into a weird angle. I need to be more conscious of that. Or I thought my head was further back than that. I need to correct that. And it's just I had to make minor adjustments. So many of them. I had to make so many minor adjustments to try and make it believable. And I'm getting there. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I can maybe fake this.
Yeah.
I can maybe fake this. But I will never label myself as a dance model because I can't dance. And I will never pretend that.
You do an amazing job. And I've seen in your modelling the way you flow and move with your body, and it is beautiful. And you would think that you have some kind of background in dance, and you can definitely tell that you know what makes a good image. You can see that in your work.
Yeah.
Can I ask,
yes.
How do you think your personal journey of self-love and body confidence influences your creative expression or past experiences?
My journey of self-love has been a very, very rocky one. Very rocky one. My first year of modeling was rough.
Really?
Really rough. Really, really rough. I would actually go as far as to say that I plummeted into a depression.
From the modeling?
Partly, yeah. So because I have, as everyone does, builds a wardrobe of modeling clothes. Which is normally separate from your everyday stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I had, you end up with 2 wardrobes, if not 3 or 4.
I have 4 rails worth of clothes, and half of it I wouldn't wear normally unless it's for a shoot.
I have a wardrobe in my bedroom, and I have a wardrobe in the spare room purely for modelling.
Yeah, 100%.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I had to go and buy a load of clothes for modelling, which meant I had to get the tape measure out. And I had to start measuring myself to try and make sure these clothes were going to fit. So I was buying them online. And then I started thinking, well, modeling means you need to have an agency. But to have an agency, I need to take my measurements. I became obsessed with that tape measure to a degree that was so unbelievably unhealthy. And I started thinking to myself, well, I'm bigger than these girls on the modeling agencies. So I actually went as far as to say, well, if I skip that, then I'll be better. And I started head diving into an eating disorder. I caught it. I'm very, very proud to say I caught it. It didn't go as far as an eating disorder, but I definitely flirted with it.
Yeah.
And I did. I was sat on the edge of, okay, if I do this, I'm going to fall off. But if I don't, I want to be on that edge. I was literally dancing on the edge for about 2 years.
Really? And so many models go through this, and it is a spoken about topic, the pressures that models have in the industry to be super skinny, but there's still not been that much change. I see it on Instagram now, like these girls promoting having like these tiny waists and saying, oh, you know, you can have this if you do Pilates every day and eat just one lettuce leaf. And it's like, it's not good for these young girls to see. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's my problem is actually my hips, because I am very aware that I am not somebody who is bigger. I don't have a bigger body. I'm actually quite slim. I'm aware of that. However, I have a wider chest, I suppose, and I have wide hips. And because of that, certainly because of my hips, I can't remember which modeling agency it was. I wish I could, because I wish I could call them out for it. But I looked at the measurements for their like house, like their normal section of models, and then their curvy models. I was in the curvy section because of my hip to bust to waist measurements.
Oh, really?
Because I have quite not an super exaggerated, but exaggerated hourglass body because of my hips. My hip measurement put me in the curvy section.
That just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
It doesn't. Not at all.
No.
The girls that they had in the curvy section were not curvy.
No.
They were not how at least I would define as curvy. It would take a bigger body to be in the curvy section. These girls weren't a bigger body.
What kind
they
of
just
clothing
weren't
size would you say the curvy models were? Because
probably a 10 in this section. Probably a 10. Yeah.
God, what is that?
It's really sad.
Like women, because I think the average size is probably a 10. I'm very not lucky, but wrong words. But when I was at university, which was quite a while ago now, which is depressing to say, I actually ended up with a bit of an eating disorder then, because I didn't really have many friends in uni in the first year. I did by the second and third. And I guess controlling things and leaving home, I suddenly just got obsessed with getting really skinny, and I ate nothing, literally nothing. I was just out of it all the time, living on coffee and cigarette. I don't smoke now, but back then I did. I saw supermodels doing it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be the same. You know, I'll be Kate Moss.
Well, that's the damn thing, isn't it?
Yeah, literally.
It was coffee and smoking and drugs and anything else that was going to get you skinny, you did.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, oh my God, you're just killing your body doing that. Oh. But I think because I hit that low, and it took me a few years to come out of it, I went vegetarian. That kind of helped actually get back into things. But with modelling, since I've started, I'm so adamant not to allow myself to even get to that point where I could get obsessive with losing weight. I'm quite adamant. I don't know, usually I eat what I want. I drink as much Prosecco as I like. I like to not be I rein it in. I am healthy, but I try not to allow myself to even think too much or compare myself to other models, because it's a place I just don't want to ever be again, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think once you've experienced being on the edge or having experienced dropping off the edge, it's really hard to kind of pull yourself away from it. I can't remember what we were doing. I was helping my boyfriend do something with a tape measure, and I was looking at it, and I actually had to ask him to take it upstairs with him.
Oh, really?
Because I wasn't able, and this was like maybe a month ago, not even. It was just, I saw it there and I was like, well, I haven't taken my measurements in a long time. Maybe I should just see. I didn't need to see.
No.
I didn't need to know. There was no reason to know. And I recognised it, and I had to say, I need you to take that upstairs. And without question, he went and took it.
Really?
Because he knows.
Because he knows.
Yeah.
Good boyfriend.
I eat as much as I want. I eat a lot. I eat a lot.
So I eat a lot. You know what a lot of models do? A lot of my friends will eat sugar, donuts, doesn't matter.
I eat very large portions. I eat a lot of crap. I eat a lot of sugar. I eat a lot of crisps. Less so on the crisps, because that really does set on me.
Enjoy yourself,
I still eat crisps. Yeah. I eat a lot of food. And I have had to overcome a lot of guilt with food. And it was something which I didn't realize I had, but it was a home life thing where I don't even think she meant to do it, but my mum kind of inadvertently put restrictions on food
really?
because of money. Yeah. Because obviously food is expensive.
Yeah.
There were points where I didn't feel like I was allowed to eat anything without asking. I felt like if I wanted a bowl of cereal that wasn't breakfast, I had to ask for the bowl of cereal. Like, it was just a lot of guilt surrounding food. And I've had to overcome that for the last couple of years. Having just moved house, this is actually the first time where it's my house with my boyfriend, and I'm not living with a friend, I'm not living at home, I'm not living wherever, where I actually feel like I'm allowed to eat the food in my fridge without asking.
And you feel like you've overcome a lot of that now?
Yeah. But I've been in therapy for 4 years.
Oh, really? Amazing.
I have. I've been in therapy for 4 years, and it is the best thing I've ever done. It has helped me overcome so many issues that I've had that have been either ingrained from relationships, or it's been my family, or it's been my own unhealthy mindset, or whatever. But
wow,
it's been the best thing I've ever done.
It sounds like you've overcome lots of hurdles, and you've almost been able to capture the experiences you've had and learning through therapy in your self-portraits and your modelling, and you're just evolving as a human being, and we all get to have the honour of watching you blossom, and it's really incredible. So can I ask, changing the subject slightly, but what's the strangest or most unexpected source of inspiration you've ever had from a shoot or concept?
Oh, I don't know.
I usually have some very strange ideas when it comes to photo shoots.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just my creative brain.
I have lots of ideas, but I don't know what somebody else has presented to me. I was given a saxophone as a prop. I can't play the saxophone. I've never held a saxophone.
No.
It's horrible. I hated it. But in terms of creative ideas, I don't know. I've had so many that I've just kind of gone, all right, let's just see where that goes. But I don't know if it's...
Have you got a creative shoot that's one of the favourites you've ever done?
Oh my God. Recently, I would have to say it was the paper shoot that I did for Sam Barton.
I'm in love with those shots. They're incredible. They're just so beautifully done. They look like they could be like a front cover of Vogue.
I know. That's what we were saying. We were like, this is the most incredible thing ever. It was total accident.
Really?
Yes. So it wasn't the plan. It wasn't the plan. I've got to put my hair up because this is bugging me. Yeah. But it was...
Wait, one moment. For anyone listening, these photos of Meg, they're beautiful. And sorry if I get this wrong, but is it a paper backdrop, or was paper suspended from the ceiling and then wrapped around her body as if it was a dress, and then across the floor? And it looks very high end and beautifully done. And it's just, they're incredible shots. And I'm a big fan personally. I think they're amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was so stoked. Like, when we kind of realized what was happening, because we went into the studio and it wasn't in the cards. It wasn't what we were planning on doing. We were planning on doing like a very heavily like 90s supermodel, like I don't care kind of, I've just come out of the club and I'm sitting completely hungover or still drunk on some steps. And I've got a cigarette in my hand and please go away, paparazzi. That was kind of the feel for the shoot.
That's very different to what the shoot was.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was showing Sam my Pinterest mood board of that idea. And he went, well, what's that? I said, oh, well, this is a paper idea that I found where I saw a team had got this like brown paper and they'd used it to create portraits, and they'd kind of like draped it around and they created interesting shapes, almost like a wall. and they'd like wrapped it around themselves. He was like, give me a minute. And he went and asked the studio owner if he had any like spare paper. And turns out they had a roll of paper that they were getting rid of. And he went, can we use this? Can we like crumple it up? He said yes, so we took it. And Sam hung it up on the frame, on the backdrop. And he crumpled it all up and it ripped. And I was like, oh, I went, no, we can use this. And I kind of got myself in and had it so it was like behind me and in front of me. And it ended up being that I'd wrapped it around me and I kind of just wanted it to like just encase me. And he went, there's a neckline in there. Can you just bend that piece there? And he kind of showed me where I needed to bend it. So I created like this sweetheart neckline. And he went, oh my God, it looks like a dress.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I went, okay, let me go put some heels on because then we can make it a dress. I'll put my hair up, we'll make it a dress. And we did. And it just created like this train. I managed to kick out the paper, so it created like this bottom. And it was the most surreal thing that we just managed to somehow create. And it was totally unplanned.
Wow.
And it is some of my favorite images to date.
Yeah,
I love them.
Stunning.
I love them. And I got somewhere, we took it off the backdrop and I kept it round me. And I sat on the floor and I kind of did some like paper dress on the floor and it was very moody and I kind of was just looking very stroppy. It just worked really well. And we literally used this piece of paper until it quite literally just fell off me. It just ripped and tore away until there was nothing left.
Incredible.
It was
and that
amazing.
is a perfect example of when two creatives come together and make magic, like what we were saying earlier. Beautiful.
Yes,
I can't wait
absolutely.
to see more work between you two and just to see how your modelling blooms from here, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it too. I have no idea where it's going. I have no idea what's going to happen.
But that's
I've
what's
got
so
some
exciting.
really cool shoots coming up. That's exactly it. No days are the same. You're always meeting different people. You're working with cool people. Sure, there's a couple in there that's not that great, but
Exactly.
It's an adventure.
It is, and it's an adventure that I'm excited to watch, and hopefully at some point we get to work together. It should be amazing.
Oh, I would love that. I've actually been meaning to ask you for that.
Yeah,
so yes,
let's
please.
make that happen.
I would love that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to message you after this and we'll get that sorted. So keep posted, guys. Yeah. That will be the next thing. Well, Thank you so much for coming on today, though, Meg. You've been amazing. Can I just ask, where can people find your work?
So Instagram being the kind of, I guess, the main one. So it's meg.modelling. Modelling with 2 L's. Some people spell it with 1. It's 2. And then my website, so just megmodelling.com. And then Purpleport, I suppose. I don't tend to use Purpleport all that much, but other people post things of me on Purpleport. But yeah, to get a hold of me or working, it's through my website. And then just to see what I do, Instagram and website. Perfect. Those kind of the 2 main things. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you for everyone that's listened today. This is Creative Conversations, and tune back in for next week. Bye. Creative Conversations was hosted by Sophia Gray. It was recorded at Granary Studios, audio production by Granary Digital, additional production support and editing by James Jones. For more information, visit our website at granary.digital. To contact the show, email podcast@granary.digital. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts and follow us on social media.